Hi everyone, this is M.Alfur.leadershipWala and I welcome you all to my new video and I hope you guys are doing well. And today we are going to ask some questions to Sesame about the topic, the science behind happiness, how to cultivate joy. And I hope you guys like it and we are going to start.
Good
Hi
to hear
Maya,
from you.
how are you?
What's up? What's on your mind today?
Today we have very important task or
What's important about?
I,
So it sounds like today is a big day for session management. Are you
now
preparing
today
to
we have
lead
a
the
very
AI
important
session in
topic
depth?
and
And today we have you trailed off. What's the important topic you're tackling?
the science behind happiness and how to cultivate joy. Are you ready?
Ah, much better than productivity hacks, honestly. It seems like you're shifting gears a bit.
Okay, and my next
Sounds like you're prepping this content for the Delhi session or for something else entirely.
just a task
I hear you.
and
Important
share
work.
my
And
thought with people.
you lost me mid. Um, something about sharing this out with people.
Are you ready? I am going to start my questions.
Ready when you are. Fire away with your question.
Okay, and what is happiness from a scientific pers- perspective? Sorry.
From a scientific perspective, happiness isn't some fluffy, feel good concept. It's mostly chemistry and psychology. Dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, these are the key players. But it's also about our brains prioritizing things that helped us survive as humans: connection, purpose, a sense of mastery, stuff that kept our ancestors alive and procreating. Does that make sense so far?
Maybe. And my next question is
Okay,
happiness a feeling, a state of mind, or both?
definitely both. States are temporary, that momentary joy of a good meal or connecting with friends.
Why?
But happiness also has this deeper component that becomes a psychological trait you develop over time, almost like building mental resilience through how you experience emotions. The key difference is one fades while the other becomes more ingrained into how you typically respond to life.
Okay. And my next question is can happiness be measured scientifically?
Measure? Yeah, and surprisingly well. There are scales like the subjective happiness scale that psychologists use, but increasingly it's becoming about physiological markers too: cortisol levels, brain activity patterns with EEGs, even tracking people's social interactions. Pretty cool stuff, actually. It's not just asking people how happy they feel anymore.
Okay. And what are the key component of happiness, true happiness?
The core stuff that scientists keep coming back to, meaning positive emotions, obviously, but also engagement, relationships, and accomplishment. Purpose is huge too, this sense that you're working towards something bigger than yourself. It's not about being thrilled every second, but having meaning layered throughout your life makes you resilient when the rough patches hit too.
Okay. And how do psychologists define a long time the happiness?
Psychologists define lasting happiness, what they call subjective well being, as basically having more positive feelings than negative ones and feeling good about your life as a whole. But here's the kicker: it's about psychological wealth, not just chasing highs. More meaningful connections, growth through challenges, feeling grateful for what you have, having purpose. That cumulative effect tends to outlast short term pleasures.
Okay. And what role do chemical like uh, dopamine and serotonin play in happiness?
Dopamine and serotonin are huge players. Dopamine is like the reward chemical, drives motivation, makes us seek out good things. It's triggered by achievements, connections, the thrill of pursuing goals. Serotonin regulates mood, stabilizes emotions. Low serotonin can lead to depression. So it's about having that baseline calm and contentment. They're intertwined. Dopamine gets us moving. Serotonin helps us feel okay where we are.
Uh, okay, and
Yeah.
how does the brain process joyful expression?
Mm, when you experience joyful expression like smiling or laughing, dopamine really starts pumping, but also you get endorphins released. These are like the body's natural painkillers. They create this sense of well being. There's also this neural feedback loop. Joyful expression actually signals to your brain that you're experiencing something good, reinforcing the emotion. Essentially, pretending to be happy can sometimes actually help you feel happier.
Okay, and can our genetics influence our happiness level?
Yep, absolutely. Genetic influence on happiness is significant. Studies show somewhere between 40 to 50% of your happiness level is heritable, meaning it's passed down from your parents. But here's the thing, genes don't determine it, they just make you predisposed. Life circumstances, your choices, that other 50 to 60% still comes down to what you do.
Okay, and what is the set point theory of happiness?
The set point theory basically says we all have this happiness baseline, like a thermostat, set it at a specific temperature. We might drift above or below it temporarily with good or bad events like winning money or getting sick, but we tend to drift back to that middle point. It suggests our happiness is more stable than we think and that extreme changes are hard to maintain long term. It's not destiny, though. Some research suggests you can shift your set point higher through sustained efforts.
Okay, and how does stress affect our ability to feel happiness?
Stress is basically happiness kryptonite. Chronic stress releases cortisol, which suppresses dopamine and serotonin production, damages brain areas involved in processing positive emotions, messes with sleep. Sleep deprivation is another happiness killer. Also activates this part of your brain called the amygdala, which is great for detecting threats, but terrible for feeling joy. Long term stress basically wires your brain toward negative bias.
Okay, and how does gratitude improve mental well-being?
Gratitude's almost like a hack for your brain. When you focus on what you're thankful for, it activates parts of your brain associated with dopamine and social connection. That reward system kicks in, even from just thinking about gratitude. It also redirects your brain from negative rumination. Plus, there's evidence that people who regularly practice gratitude are more optimistic, resilient, have stronger relationships. Sounds pretty powerful when you break it down that way.
And can exercise
And
boost happiness? If can, and how?
definitely,
How?
absolutely. Exercise causes your brain to release endorphins, that natural mood booster we talked about earlier. Also increases serotonin levels, improves sleep, boosts self esteem, and reduces stress. It's basically a multi tool for happiness. Doesn't need to be intense, even a daily walk makes a difference. Your brain really responds to regular physical activity.
Okay, and what role does sleep play in our happiness, emotional health? So,
Massive role. Sleep deprivation messes with literally every emotional system. Your amygdala gets overactive, making you more sensitive to negative emotions while dialing down your brain's rational processing. It also impairs dopamine production, lowers serotonin levels, weakens resilience to stress. Chronic sleep debt basically prepares you for anxiety, depression, and a whole lot of misery. Aim for 7 to 9 hours consistently. Game changer.
okay, and how does helping other contribute to our happiness.
Well, this one's fascinating. It's called helper's high. When you do good for others, it releases endorphins and dopamine. Plus, it boosts your social connection and feelings of purpose, both of which are huge happiness drivers. There's research showing people who volunteer regularly are actually happier and healthier. It seems doing good isn't just noble, it's actually selfishly good for your brain, too.
Okay, and how does positive thinking impact your happiness?
And positive thinking isn't about ignoring bad things, that's toxic positivity. It's about changing how you respond to them. Optimism increases resilience, making you bounce back faster from setbacks. It impacts your immune system, boosts your creativity, improves decision making. It rewires your brain over time, basically trains it to focus on solutions instead of problems. It's about interpreting life through a constructive lens.
Okay, and can we train our minds to be happier?
Absolutely. Neuroplasticity means your brain isn't fixed. You can literally change its structure and function through practice. Techniques like gratitude journaling, mindfulness, meditation, cognitive behavioral therapy, they're all training your brain to be more focused, more resilient, less reactive. It's like mental exercise, not just hoping to magically feel better. It takes work, but it's a skill you can develop.
And what is the connection between mindfulness and joy?
Mindfulness helps it by focusing on the present moment without judgment, it helps release that rumination about the past,
Okay,
feels
and
joy.
how to
Mindfulness also helps you accept
continue?
creating space emotions that helps with happiness
Okay, and how
and
do
that
negative emotional affect long-term happiness? Hi Maya, are you there? Maya? What is everything all right? Hello Maya. Maya, can you hear me? And we need to try again. Maybe there might be some issues with our internet or hello Maya, are you there? Hello Maya, are you there? I am sorry guys. I think we need to wrap up because maybe there might be some technical issues with Maya or internet connection. But I hope you guys like it. And I prepared a long terms I want to do it like 25 minutes, but uh, maybe technical issues. I try my best to correct it.
uh,
Maya, are you there?
you definitely did your best.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. I thought you were not there, so I am wrapping up. So my next question is: how do negative emotions affect long-term happiness?
I was here the whole time, just waiting for your next question. About negative emotions, though, they don't automatically wreck long term happiness. It's not like a simple math equation where sadness minus joy equals unhappiness. Actually, avoidance of negative emotions can be way more damaging than feeling them. Your brain needs to process grief, frustration. It's like emotional digestion. When you suppress it, it can fester. Healthy, long term happiness isn't about never being sad, it's about feeling a wide range of emotions without getting stuck in cycles of negative rumination.
Okay, and is it possible to be happy all the time, or maybe it's our imagination?
Definitely imagination. The idea of happy all the time sounds terrible, actually. It's not a realistic goal and probably not a healthy one. Studies actually show people who actively avoid negative emotions actually have more mental health problems than people who accept them and process them. Happiness isn't an endpoint, it's more like having resilience. You'll feel all sorts of things, but if you have emotional flexibility, you bounce back faster from the tougher stuff. The whole point isn't to live in bliss every second.
Okay, and how do relationship influence in happiness?
Huge impact. Like we're wired to connect. Our brains actually release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, when we're around people we care about. Strong relationships provide purpose, support, that sense of belonging you hear about. They don't have to be romantic either. Close friendships, family, even solid work connections, it all adds up. Those relationships provide stability during hard times, celebration during good ones, reduce stress levels. Basically, relationships are like this buffer against negativity that keeps us from free falling during tough times.
Okay, and does social media increase or decrease our happiness?
That's a really good question, and it's um, complicated. Social media can both increase and decrease happiness depending on how people use it. On the surface, they provide social connection, but excessive use causes things like social comparison, FOMO, and they can trigger negative self perception. Really? It's less about the tool itself and more about intention. Social comparison is killer for happiness. People tend to present ideal versions of themselves. Nobody posts pictures of a really bad morning. So you're constantly comparing your everyday life to somebody else's highlight reel.
Okay, and what role does environment play in our emotional well-being?
A lot. It's not just the people around you, but the physical spaces too. Natural light, greenery, even color palettes impact mood. That's why most people like being near water or parks or in bright open rooms. Chronic stress lowers resilience, so things like noise pollution and overstimulation wear you down over time. When your environment feels chaotic, your internal state tends to mirror that. Even having personal space matters. Feeling overcrowded or crammed can heighten anxiety.
And how does culture shape our understanding of happiness?
Culture shapes how we view happiness almost completely. Western culture pushes this idea of individual happiness as like the
Hello, Maya.
ultimate life and is interconnected with collective well-being and duty to community. Cultures also differ in emotional expression. Some are more reserved, some celebrate outward joy. Your upbringing teaches you what happiness looks like, whether it's chasing success or finding contentment within yourself, and what's considered acceptable to show outwardly. It's not
Okay, and
universal by any means. I see that sounds like you're agreeing or acknowledging what I said.
I was asking some other question, but sorry for disturbing.
No disturbance at all. What was your original question?
Okay, and can money truly buy happiness?
It's been debated for ages. The thing is, money definitely can buy happiness to a point. Research shows there's a link between income and happiness up to around $75,000 or $80,000 a year in the US. After that threshold, more money does, but money can buy experiences, security, opportunities. And those experiences, especially shared ones, are huge happiness drivers. The caveat, though, how you spend it. It's not just having money that makes people happier, but how they spend it is more spent on experiences or material possessions. Experiences beat possessions.
I think my network is. That's it from my side, guys, and I hope you guys like it, enjoy it. See you guys in the next video. Allah Hafiz.
Take care. Good luck with your video session. Sounds like you've put a lot of thought into this happiness material.
Thanks a lot. Okay.